All right, today we're going to ditch the boring IT checklists and step into the world of digital architecture. We are going to lay out the actual blueprint for building your organization's digital headquarters, and we're going to do it on the super powerful foundation of Microsoft 365. You know, every great building, every skyscraper, it needs a foundation that can stand the test of time, right? Well, the exact same thing is true for your digital workspace. So I've got a big question for you, the one we're going to tackle today. Is your digital headquarters built to last, or is it kind of sitting on shaky ground? So here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll kick things off with the blueprint, the big why. Then we'll define what this foundation actually is. After that, we'll run through a quick inspector's checklist, cover the 5 essential steps to build it, and finally, we'll ask the big question. Is your foundation really ready for the future? Let's get right into it. Okay, first up, the blueprint. Before we lay a single digital brick, we really need to understand why getting this part right is so crucial for your entire organization's success. You know, Microsoft's own documentation really hits the nail on the head here. A properly configured tenant, it isn't just some IT setup task. It's the literal bedrock of your digital transformation. When this foundation is solid, your people can just focus on doing their best work, and your IT team can finally stop fighting fires and start delivering some real business value. So I keep using this building analogy, this foundation. Let's get specific and define what that actually means in the Microsoft 365 world. I want you to think of a tenant as the specific, dedicated plot of land that your digital headquarters is built on. And this slide really breaks it down perfectly. A tenant is your organization's dedicated and unique home in the Microsoft cloud. It is completely walled off from everybody else. When you first create it, you even tell it where to live, North America, Europe, which is absolutely critical for things like data residency and compliance. And this is super important. You don't just get the apps. Baked right into every single M365 tenant is Microsoft Entra. Think of this as the security desk, the lobby, and the ID card system for your entire digital HQ. It manages every user, every group, and every single sign-in. You literally can't have one without the other. It's a package deal. All right, so we know what a tenant is, but how do we know if it's a good one? Well, it is time for a little quality inspection. Think of this as the official checklist for what a well-designed, solid foundation really looks like. Let's just run down this list real quick. First, have you got the right products and enough licenses for everybody? Is your network traffic optimized for your people in the office and the ones working from their couch? Are your identities all synced up with your on-prem systems? Is access locked down with multi-factor authentication, MFA? Have you finally moved those old on-prem servers to the cloud? And last but not least, are you actively managing all the devices and apps that are connecting to your data? Every single one of these is a critical pillar. Okay, inspection's over. Now for the main event, the 5-step construction plan. This is the real, actionable, step-by-step process for actually building that firm foundation we've been talking about. Let's get our hands dirty. And here's the 30,000-foot view of that whole build process. It follows a really logical flow, right? First, you plan the structure. Then, you set up all the pathways. You secure all the doors. You move your assets in. And finally, you manage the entire facility. Now, let's break each of those down. Step 1 is all about planning. This is where you make that first and probably most important architectural decision. Do you need one single massive headquarters for the whole company, or maybe a few separate buildings for different business units? You got to decide this up front. Next up, networking. I want you to think of this as the plumbing, the electricity, the highways leading to your digital HQ. It's all about making sure that data flows super fast and reliably to the Microsoft network, giving all your employees a smooth, high-performance experience no matter where they are. Step 3 is all about who gets in the door, identity and access. This is where you create a single, unified key for every single user to access the building. You sync up your existing accounts to the cloud, and most importantly, you enforce really strong security at the front door with things like multi-factor authentication. And now, it's officially moving day. Step 4 is all about migration. This is the big process of taking all of your organization's essential stuff, your Windows devices, your Office apps, your server data, and moving it all into its brand new, secure home in the cloud. And finally, step 5. Once everyone and everything is moved in, you've got to manage the place, right? This means using powerful tools like Microsoft Intune to secure and manage every single device. Doesn't matter if it's a company laptop or someone's personal phone that's accessing your organization's data. So, the headquarters is built, it's up and running. But is it truly future-ready? Let's take a look at some of the really powerful capabilities you have at your fingertips to make sure your foundation can evolve and adapt over time. Let's zoom back in on identity for a second, because it is that important. You can see how your security can evolve. Basic MFA is just the start. The real game changer is conditional access, which usually comes with E3 or E5 licenses. It's like having a smart security guard that checks not just who is signing in, but from where, on what device, before it lets them in. And on the flip side, tools like self-service password reset empower your users and dramatically cut down on those annoying help desk calls. And what about that whole moving day process? Well, the good news is you don't have to figure it all out by yourself. As this slide shows, Microsoft has laid out clear pathways for your most critical assets. Whether you're upgrading old Windows versions, moving to the M365 apps, or migrating servers and sites, there are defined playbooks and tools ready to go that can make this whole transition way, way less painful. So look, we've walked through the entire process, from that initial blueprint all the way to a fully operational digital headquarters. The huge takeaway here is that proper tenant management isn't a one-time setup. It's the ongoing stewardship of your company's core digital foundation. And that leaves us with one last critical question for you to think about. Is your foundation built not just for today, but to empower productivity, ensure security, and drive the future value of your business?